Hello students, welcome to this next video lecture. Okay, so previously we discussed about the attitude. Specifically we focused on the positive attitude, how does it should be developed, and what is the effect of this positive attitude in on our personality, in our society. Okay, so these all things we have discussed in previous video lecture, and the title was positive attitude. So right now we are going to move forward, and the topic that we are going to study in this today's video lecture, that is successful interviews. Okay, so and it is a part of our interpersonal skills development. So under the model 5, that is interpersonal skills development, we are going to study in detail how we are going to handle the situations specifically at the time of interview. Okay, handling situations, how will you impress the interview panel or employee. Okay, this is the thing we are going to study in this today's video lecture. And after studying this video lecture, you will realize how to make your interviews successful. Okay, I hope you will pay your attention and study this or view this video in full length. So let's move forward. So see here overview, that things we are going to study in this video lecture, that is preparing for interviews, the interview experience, questions to expect and to ask, different types of interview, assessment centers, psychometric test and interview resources. Okay, so how will you prepare the interviews? And the next thing we will discuss, that is the interview experience. Then we will discuss about the questions to expect and to ask, means what are the expected questions will be asked during the interview. Then different types of interview, there are some types of interview, for example telephonic interview. Okay, this is one type. Then face to face interview, HR interview, these are the several types of interview. Then assessment centers, means where you will be assessed. Obviously you will be assessed at the venue, means that industrial persons or industrialist or that company will suggest you to appear for that interview at that particular venue, that is assessment center. Then psychometric tests, why these psychometric tests are conducted or organized, these things we are going to study in this video lecture. So interviews, so you may have some questions, what is that interview. You might have already got some information about the interviews. Okay, you will be well aware with this concept, what is that interview. So let us see here again. So interview is a meeting with an objective. It is a meeting with an objectives. Okay, so what are the objectives as an employer, what are your objectives, and as as an employee, what are the objectives. If those objectives from the both sides are fulfilled, then you will go through that condition or situation or process, and that whole process is called here in an interview. So employer's objective is, means employer means the person who is going to provide you a job, that person is called here employer. So employer's objective is to find the best person for the job. That employers try to find the best person for the right job, or right person for the right job. This is the objective of that employer. So employer reviews candidates experience and abilities. And how will you review the candidates experience and abilities? Through skills, abilities and qualifications. And regarding that, he will ask the questions, can you do the best job, will you do the job. Throughout he will observe your interest, attitude and motivation. Then how will you fit into the organizations, means you will be observed, your personality will be observed throughout this question. So as a interviewee, you should ask, you may impress employer and assess position on offer. For example, you may ask questions to the employees, means what does this position offer me, how does it fit with my career plans. These things you have to observe, you have to review. Then you have passed the first hurdle, that is you have given the interview. Okay, then you must prove that you are the most suitable candidate for this position. Imagine that you have passed this first hurdle, that is interview. Okay, and afterwards you must prove that you are the most suitable candidate for the position. Then Let's see here how you can prepare for getting the success in the interview. So preparation is the key to success. So review how will you prepare yourself to get the success? That is, you have to review your own skills, experiences, and qualities. Means you can for reviewing these things you may check your CV curriculum vitae, then anticipate questions and identify relevant examples, then prepare key spelling points. Okay, then research organizations. You have to research the organizations. You have to get the information in advance. You have to get the information in advance about that organization where you are going to face the interview. That is how and where you will get the information, or where you will research the organization. Obviously you will refer the websites, then reports, read articles, then read company literature, etc. Then contacts with knowledge of organization or sector, then relevant articles in the press regarding that organization, then see personal visit or telephonic call. You may sometimes call to these officials, relevant officials, official persons, to get the information. Then research job and occupational area, that is job description or similar things. You may see there the current issues which are raised in that research job. Then prepare your own questions and accordingly practice. Okay, so most important thing at the time of interview you should have, that is your body language. Okay, we always say that first impression is the last impression. So first impressions are very powerful. That is halo effect or devil effect is not applicable here. Okay, so first impressions are very powerful. Then for that allow time to relax when you appear for that assessment center, or at the time of that venue, that interview venue. Then allow time to relax, just relax yourself before the interview. Then dress appropriately, that should be formal, your dressing should be formal. Then entrance, introductions and handshake, just uh, take proper entrance. Means while taking entrance, taking entry, just follow the formalities. Means may I come in, sir, such way. Then give your introductions, then give proper handshake. It should not be shaky handshake or crunchy handshake, it should be warm handshake. Then keep smile and make eye contact. Then be aware of your own movements, be aware of your own movements. Then watch body language of interviewer also. You should also observe the body language of your interviews. Okay, these things we have to be aware during the interview. Then during the interview typical questions are asked. Okay, again let me give you additional point here, that whenever you give prepare for the interview, just look for these three things, that is before the interview, during the interview, and after the interview. The things you have to do, that is before the interview you have to prepare, during the interview you have to show the positive attitude, then show your good interpersonal skills, good communication skills. These all things during the interview you have to do, that is give the proper answers, best answer, try to give the best answers. Okay, then after the interview you may take the follow-up. Okay, so see here about you, typical questions asked regarding you, this that is those are, tell me about yourself. Okay, tell me about yourself, then bring me up to date with your CV. These things you have to mention there. Why did you choose that particular degree program? Then what experience you have you had that is relevant to this post? Then what would you consider your major achievements to date? Means up to date, what are your major achievements? Then how your qualification can fulfill the requirements of that particular position? These things will be observed by asking such kind of questions. Then about the job, what interest you have about this job? Then what do you know about this organization? Then what other options are you considering? How do you see your career developing after 5 years? Then if you were head of department, what you would be your priorities? Then legibly your general knowledge may be checked there. Then what do you think of the government's policy on college fees? What's your opinion of the Ranier breed for arid lingers? Means this question is asked about that institute, or it may be question. This question may be relevant to the country or current affairs happening in that country. Okay, here you may ask what's your opinion of the elections that are coming in future in America, the post of president in America. What is your opinion? Such kind of general questions might be asked uh, during the interview. Then other type of questions. See, what if questions. What if? जर तर. No experience. How are you likely to respond to questions if you don't have a experience? Such kind of questions might be asked there. If you are a fresh candidate, then probing questions. How exactly did you deal with the situation? How exactly did you deal with the situations? You have to prove yourself. You have to inquire yourself, or your status might be checked there. Hmm? Means how you deal with that questions. Then how did you know it worked? How did you feel about the outcome? And could you have handled it differently? Such kind of questions are asked there. Then competency based interviews. Competency based interviews. So here company identifies key skills required for job. Competency means your abilities to do particular thing. Okay, that is called your competency. So competency based interviews. See here, company identifies key skills required for the job. If you are manager, so required skills are checked. If you are going to be grab the post of teacher or assistant teacher, associate teacher, then relevant questions are asked there. Then designs questions to elicit evidence of your skills. Then emphasis on past behavior as predictor of success. For example, questions are asked regarding teamwork. Describe a team project you work on. What problems arose and how did you deal with them? Means here, through these questions, your teamwork is skill of your teamwork is assessed. Then communication skills. Describe situations when you had to persuade others to support your views. Give an example of any reports you have written which illustrate your writing skills. Okay, such questions are asked there. Then interpersonal skills. Regarding these interpersonal skills, question is asked like this one: what kinds of people do you find it difficult to work with, and how do you handle those situations? For example, in that organization there may be some senior persons, okay, experienced persons, having high salary persons, okay, and you might be a fresh candidate there. Okay, so you have to communicate with such kind of persons properly, and your interpersonal skills plays very important role for this. Okay, and this same thing we have been studying throughout this course, that is soft skills development. Then taking responsibility. Describe a time when you took responsibility to achieve a challenging goal. Means there may be some time or situation where we have faced or we have got a responsibility, and that responsibility could be challenging, and you could have handled that responsibility properly, and that situation you have to elucidate in front of that interview panel. Okay, some problem solving. Regarding problem solving, question might be asked, that is, tell about the time when you had several tasks to manage at one time with conflicting deadlines. Okay, means there is a deadline to complete that work, and you have, and during while completing that work, you have you know that there is a deadline. The deadline is given, that limit is given, and before that there are several questions, there are several problems are arised, and those problems may be very trivial or very critical, and you have to solve, you might have solved or you could have solved that problem, and that situation you have to illustrate at the time of interview. Okay, so this is called here competency based interviews. Then how will you prepare for competency based interviews? So see here, identify the competencies required for job. For example, you have observed that post is regarding software engineer. So what are the responsibilities, whether you are going to develop particular software or not? If you have developed the software, then how it will work, whether it will work properly or not, whether it will run properly or not, these things. And if you have developed this application or software, uh, what is the benefit of that software or application, you should show there with demonstration. And for that you might be asked another time to give the demonstration. Okay, so identify the competency required for a job, then define each competency in behavioral terms. Hmm? While behaving means there are several things or situations are arised, and you have taken some decisions in that situation, and you have behaved properly in that situations. Those things you have to illustrate there. Then identify past experience to illustrate how you demonstrate that behavior. Identify past experience to illustrate how you demonstrate that behavior. Means you have to identify your past experience. You have handled that situation, those critical situations. You have solved the critical situations or problems properly, successfully. And if you have solved that properly situations or problems properly, then you have good competency to solve that problem, and you have to focus that competence. Then practice, prepare examples for each competency, and for that you have to prepare examples. You have to explain there such kind of situations were raised there, and I handle that responsibility, I handle that situation, I handle that problem properly. You have to give the examples. Then practice talking about your experience. It is most important here. You have to show the explain the experiences that you have achieved in past. Then try to give a complete answer, and it is possible when you follow the star method. hmm? That situation, that task is given, the action you have taken, then you have got some results. Okay, that is called a star technique. So it is very important for mm, getting success in competency based interviews. So responding to competency, hmm? responding to competency questions, how questions is given here. Give me an example of a problem you encountered, and how did you approach it, what was the outcome. That question is asked in the competency based interviews. So for that you have to give your answer by observing the star method. What is the star method or response? See, yes, describe the situations. hmm? You could have approached or faced some situations where you have to solve the problem. So describe that situation, then explain the task or problem that arose, then what actions did you take, and what was the result or outcomes, and what did you learn from this experience. These things you have to see there. Okay, so this is very important, that is star response. Okay, so matching skills to requirements. Matching skills to requirements. See here, we have reached to the 11th slide, and there are 20 slides, but the count of slides is not important. It is very important whether you understand or not, whether it is beneficial for you or not, and it is your responsibility, or it is your side. From your side you have to look after this. So what are the matching skills to requirements? So there are two things: employee needs and your evidence. Employee needs these skills, employee needs these skills, and uh, what are your evidence? hmm? For example, see, regarding communication, you should have a proper communication. This is your employee needs. So as an evidence, what you have? Presentation to class. Okay, then teamwork, example for coop. Then leadership, you were a class representative, or you were a committee head. Then initiative, you have taken the initiative, that is fundraising for charity or fundraising for disaster affected people. Then customer care, working in a aquarium, super equivalent. Then IT, design website, this is your evidence. Commercial awareness, you have business pages, research papers, you can show there. So your answers. So during the interview what kind of answers you should have. So see here, listen carefully and seek clarification. Unless and until you understand the question asked by employer, you can't give the answers. So listen question properly, get the clarification of that question, and then give the answer. Then illustrate answers with real examples and evidence. Okay, illustrate your answers with real examples and evidence. Be positive. That should be constructive criticism. Then keep answers specific and succinct. Specific and proper and clear. Your answer should be. Then take time to respond. Take time. Take time, think about the questions and prepare your answer and then give the response. Then be alert to interview's body language. Okay, also during the interview, observe the interviewer's body language. Then speak clearly, smile and show enthusiasm. Then know what you want to say and find the opportunities. Okay, know what you want to say and find the opportunities. Means during the interview there you might have observed the body language. Okay, again if they are showing the good, means positive body language, then take that opportunities as a golden opportunity, and you may give your stand. You may ask your questions that you want to impress the employees. Means know what you want to say and find the opportunities. Okay, so qualities employers seeks. Here let's see here qualities that are required for employers. That is good all-round intelligence, enthusiasm, commitment and motivation, good communication skills, again teamwork ability, ability to solve problems, capacity to work hard, initiative and self-reliance, balanced personality. These qualities you must have. What are those qualities? Good all-round intelligence, enthusiasm, commitment and motivation, good communication skills, teamwork ability, ability to solve problems, capacity to work hard, initiative and self-reliance, balanced personality. Okay, then competency required by X company. Here given C regarding the candidate, that is adaptability, integrity, innovation, teamwork, initiative, drive for results, know the business, open exchange of information and makes difficult decisions simple. Then your questions to the employers, means training programs. What kind of training programs are provided in your company? Then career development opportunities are available or not? Then types of projects and responsibilities. Then reporting structure, performance appraisal, profile of staff. Then questions about your topics raised in interview and what happens next. Okay, it is your questions there. Then interview marking sheet. I will not say that this is applicable to everywhere. Okay, these are the internal things. This is related to the interview panel, but for initial stages you have that such kind of assessment. Okay, now see here, you may imagine that question, that interview may have 100 marks, and those 100 marks can be divided into several points. That is communication skill, that is 30 marks, problem solving 20 marks, team fit, whether you fit for the team or not, 20 marks, then relevant experience 20 marks, project management 10 marks. Such kind of marks distribution can be there, but right now we can't say that this is everywhere. But sometimes it is beneficial for you that keeping such things or assessment in your or marking sheet in your mind, give the face the interview. So what creates now see next slide, that is interview rating skill. Rating, that is 0 to 5. 0 means no response and 5 means excellent. Then selection criteria, that is intelligence. Your and intelligence is observed, that is academic performance questions. Then responsibility, your work roles, external ability activities. Then appearance and poise, first impressions. Then interpersonal relations, interest, team roles. Then integrity, no inconsistencies. Then self confidence, relaxed manner, responsible. Then communication skills, articulate your coherent grammar, responsiveness. Then interest, external interest and involvement. Then leadership potential, elective offices and initiative. Interviewing skills, logical thinking and knows priorities. Okay, so these are the selection criteria. Then what creates a bad impression? What creates a bad impression? Let us see here. Your poor personal appearance. This creates a bad impression. Then negative attitude, that is evasive, using excuses. Means you always say the excuse me, I don't understand, it is not, I don't like. It is your negative attitude. Then lack of interest and enthusiasm. If you are not showing your interest and enthusiasm, it creates bad impression. Then lack of preparation. Yes, obviously, if it should not be there, you should not be lack in preparation. Then poor knowledge of role. You should get the information, you should show good knowledge about that role, otherwise you will create a bad impression. Then failure to give concrete examples of skills. You should give the concrete examples. Concrete examples of skills means we have used those skills in previously. You used those skills previously and you have got the absolute results. Okay, means star is applicable here. Then overemphasis on money or rewards. What payment you will give. Then what are other things you will provide for me? Such kind of questions if you ask again to the interview panel, then it will create bad impression. Then lack of career plan. Yes, you should have that career plan. Okay, these things you should know while giving the interview. Then after the interview, what things you should do after the interview? See here. Review own performance. What went well? You should ask yourself. What went badly? You should ask yourself. Then what you wished you had said? Just see that. Then prepare for next stage. If you are positive in everything, then prepare for next stage. That is, you may it is given here. Next stage is given here. Invitation to second and final round interviews. That is assessment center. You may call for the assessment center. Then psychometric test may be conducted, organized for you. Then panel interview may be organized for you. Then rejection letter or email. If you can request feedback, use it. Okay. If you want to give the feedback, get that feedback form from that interview panel. Then next is that telephone interview. We have several slides. Okay, so see here, telephone interviews. Prepare as thoroughly as for real interviews. Okay, let us stop here. I don't want to bore you again, or you may not have that kind of patience right now to see this video lecture. So let us stop here and we may proceed further for this remaining part. Till then, thank you and have a nice day. Let us stop here.